2 days before Christmas, 12,000 people who worked at the biggest party store in America got on a video call. A couple of minutes later, they were told the company was done and that today was their last day. No severance, no warning. Everyone says the internet killed Party City. Amazon, online shopping, just another store that couldn't compete. They're wrong. What actually happened is stranger and a lot darker. And it starts with something strange. Party City owned the factory that made its own balloons. It was the king of its industry, billions of dollars a year, and it made the one thing it was famous for. A company like that shouldn't be killable. So how did it end up firing 12,000 people on a Christmas video call? Go back to 1986. In 1986, a guy named Steve Mandel opened a single store in New Jersey, 4,000 square feet, about 125 grand. Party supplies all year round. People loved it. He opened more, and by the 2010s, Party City was the king of its category. Close to 900 stores, about $2.4 billion a year. You know the place. The wall of balloons behind the register. The aisle of cheap-themed plates for the kid's birthday. You forgot to plan until that afternoon. And here's the part I want you to hold on to. Most stores don't make what they sell. They buy it from somebody else and mark it up. Party City was different. Those shiny foil balloons, the big number ones for birthdays, Party City owned the company that makes them. A factory in Minnesota called Anagram, which calls itself the largest foil balloon maker in the world. So when you bought a balloon at Party City had made it, shipped it, and sold it to you, start to finish. It owned the one thing it was famous for. A company like that shouldn't be killable. So what killed it? The real story starts in 2012, when Party City got bought. A private equity firm called Thomas H. Lee Partners took control of the whole company. Now, here's how that kind of deal usually works, in plain terms. You don't buy the company with your own money. You make the company borrow most of the price. And then the company owes the debt, not you. You buy it, and it walks in the door already owing for its own purchase. Think about what that means for the store you remember. None of that borrowed money built a single new aisle or fixed the website. It bought the company, and then the company had to pay it back out of every party you ever threw there. When the dust settled, Party City was carrying around $2.2 billion in debt. Set that against its sales, roughly $2.4 billion a year. It owed almost a whole year of revenue. In 2015, it even went public, and most of the money it raised went straight to paying that debt down. It barely moved the needle. The weight stayed. Picture it at the register. Every time someone bought a $4 pack of napkins, the profit didn't go back into the store. It went straight to a bank to pay off a loan the store never even wanted. Debt that size doesn't kill you fast. It bleeds you. By 2022, Party City was paying about $102 million a year just in interest. Think about that. Nearly $300,000 a day, every day, before it sold a single balloon, just to stand still. And every dollar that went to a lender was a dollar that didn't go into the stores or the website or anything a customer would notice. So the stores got a little tired. You felt it without naming it. The thinning shelves, the gaps where the good stuff used to be, the one open register. That wasn't bad luck. That was the interest payment, showing up in the aisle, and the numbers backed up the feeling. In a single year, comparable store sales fell about 9.5%, and the division that made its own products dropped almost 25%. Now, about that guess from the start, Amazon. It's true the internet was taking the everyday stuff, the plates and the streamers, And every fall, a chain of orange pop-up shops called Spirit Halloween came for the costumes, the one season that actually paid the bills. But plenty of stores survived Amazon. What Party City couldn't survive was fighting all of that with no money, because the money was already spoken for. The debt didn't just sit there, it tied the company's hands, while everyone else came for its lunch. But while the company was quietly bleeding out from this debt, the rest of the world was blaming a completely different suspect: a shortage of a single gas. In 2018 and 2019, there was a genuine global helium shortage. It was real, and it did hurt. Foil balloon sales dropped about 8%. So the press put two and two together, the wrong way. There were two stories on the table: Party City closing stores and a helium shortage, and they stapled them into one. Helium shortage closes Party City. It made sense, it was easy, and everybody ran it. There was just one problem. The CEO had to come out and say it plainly. The store closings were completely unrelated to the global helium issue. These are two separate topics. Party City closes 10 or 15 stores in a normal year. That's just retail. The thing eating the company had been running since 2012, and it was about money. And that's the cruel part. The one thing Party City actually controlled was balloons. It owned the factory. The thing it couldn't control was the $2.2 billion. Helium got the blame. The debt did the work. So, if the killer was the money and not the gas, why didn't bankruptcy just fix it? Because Party City was about to learn you can't simply wish away $2 billion. In January 2023, it finally gave. Party City filed for bankruptcy and wiped out about $1 billion of debt. The stock went from $17 at its IPO to basically zero. Shareholders got nothing. But it survived. It came out of that bankruptcy in late 2023, lighter, with most of its stores still open. For a minute, it looked saved. It wasn't. Shedding $1 billion sounds like a lot until you hear the company came out still owing around $800 million. They'd cut about half the debt, but the years of starving the stores had already done the damage. They came back out weaker than they went in. A patient sent to run a marathon with one lung. And remember the balloon factory, the one thing Party City owned start to finish? It couldn't save that either. Anagram filed its own separate bankruptcy, and a few months later, it was sold off to a group of lenders for about $168 million. The factory survived. Party City just didn't own it anymore. The one thing it controlled completely handed to the same kind of lenders the whole story started with. And 14 months after it came back, in December 2024, Party City filed again. You know how that story ends. That video call 2 days before Christmas. But the 12,000 people on it weren't quite the last act. The stores were. About 700 of them started their going out of business sales on December 23rd. Everything must go. All sales final. A party store running its own closing party 2 days before the holiday it lived for. So, no, it wasn't Amazon, and it wasn't the helium. Party City didn't run out of customers. It ran out of room. For 10 years, more of its money went to its lenders than to its own stores. And nothing floats with that much weight tied to it. So next time you pass an empty storefront, where the wall of balloons used to be, remember? It wasn't the internet that turned out the lights. It was the bill for the store itself.